Hello everybody and welcome along. It's cold here today, but I think we'll do some crafting and keep ourselves warm. When you're crafting, you don't think about the cold. You don't think about being hungry or anything like that. You just think about the next piece of paper, or at least I do. Anyway, we're back on the Edith Lapbook. I've done two sections, as you might recall, and this is section 3, which I've already done and worked through, so I can more quickly walk through it with you. So this is how it will look in the book, and then it opens up like that, and that's on a magnet. It's very satisfying, that sound, isn't it? I love it. Here we've got a big pocket. Next we've got a little corner. It's a pocket, but it's just had the corner taken off, so it just looks a bit jazzy. This is the back page, and it's a beautiful waterfall. When that's I mean, look at it, it's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. So there's 6 waterfalls in total. A little pocket at the bottom, little journaling card in, which was the centre of one of the things we cut out when we were making an acetate window. So I'm putting that to use in there. I might make another one actually, because I made a gusseted pocket, as I would, and there's plenty of room in there, so I might get something else in there. And then that will be stuck down and it will lie beautifully. And then when you come like that and like that, you can then go the other way and you end up with this. I don't know how it all works. I just made it. I'm not sure how it works. So we've got a big pocket down here, big side pocket, got a flip flap here with journaling on the back, and then we've got a sort of triple, let me get a piece of paper, sort of triple pocket here. There's a pocket there that goes all the way to the back, and then that little pocket there. So that's it. That's what we're making. Yeah, that's right. Except the one we're making won't go on a map. It just go on ordinary card. So I'm going to have to keep this one quite close to me so I can try and remember what I'm about. First thing to do is to make the back page with all the waterfalls. That's the start of things. Without that, we've got nothing to build on. So I have cut myself a piece that's 6.5 by 9. You remember that's about the size of the Edith books, and we use the Edith books for the Lapbook carcass. So I'm going on 6.5 by 9. And I've inked around it, and the only reason I've inked around the card is in case my cutting out of my pages is not absolutely perfect, which does happen on occasions to the best of us. And I'm not saying I am the best of us, but I think it happens to people that are the best. I don't know. And when you stick that on, actually that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I think the thing to do is get cracking, get that stuck on. I've inked around there as well. Mr. F's kindly filled my collal up because I've used almost a full bottle of collal today. I have been like a demon collal user. Demon. I've been a demon, something, I don't know. Oh dear, I think silliness has taken over. I really have been working hard today. I was determined. I promised yesterday in the live that I would have this video up for you today. And I hate to think that you're sitting there trying to get on with your Lapbook and I'm just lollygagging around not doing anything. I love that phrase, lollygagging. We don't use it here in this country, but I'm doing my best to bring it here. So there we are, that's that. I mean, what a pretty page in its own right. Shame we're going to cover it over with a waterfall, really, isn't it? So the waterfall pieces themselves, I've left one that isn't. There are 6 waterfall pages, and they are 5.5 by 5.5. 6 pieces, 5.5 by 5.5. I'm using cream card only because I can use the back of it for journaling. You use your file folders, use whatever it is that's convenient for you. And if you need to back the back with journaling, then, you know, just go ahead and do that. And then you score it at 1/2 inch. Now, because it's square, it doesn't matter which side you score it on. So I'm going to score it this way because that's the way the writing goes. And it would upset me if it was the wrong way around. So there we are. Just a score line at 1/2 inch. Fold that over. And that's our waterfall piece. Now I am going to ink this. I want that top bit inked. And just roughly around it for the same reason as before, in case my cutting out is not exact. And then on the back, this you will see, so I'm just going to take a little more time, a little more care with it. And ink all the way around it, just quite carefully. We are going to cut the corners off, so it doesn't matter going right up to the corners. There we go. So that's going to go there, and I need my, this is what I've chosen to put on it. You can choose anything. I'll show you what I've chosen. The violas, sweet violets, not violas, the violets. Huh? There you go. Oh, the family is viola. This one which I love that blackbird nest. This one with a primrose on, I also love. And this, it's just really, really lovely. I love them all actually. So this just gets stuck onto here. Well, it would appear that Catkin has a girlfriend. He's been all fixed up, so there's none of that business going on, fortunately. But a couple of nights ago, he'd been out, and he does go out. He can't help himself. If you go into the kitchen where the back door is, he always sort of makes a lurch for the back door handle because he wants to go out. I can tell you, he's got no idea why he wants to go out. He just does. And so as soon as he's gone out, he thinks, oh, this wasn't what I thought it was. So he comes to the back window to be let back in again. And he thinks that's quite a good game, really, going out the door and coming to the window to be let back in. Gets to be a bit of a pain, to be honest, but, you know, that's him. That's what he does. So I'm going to use my 1/2 inch rounder here. And the other night, he'd gone out and he didn't come back for ages. And that's really not like him. He likes to be at home. Particularly in the evening when we are, you know, sat down and he's sort of got our undivided attention, if you like. But he hadn't come back and he hadn't come back. And I said to Mr. F, have you seen Catkin? Do you know where Catkin is? No, we didn't know where he was. So we decided to mount a bit of a search for him. What am I going to put on the top here? Maybe the violets. I think the violets. So I'll come back to Catkin. I shall return. So I'm folding that over like that. Those of you that have seen me make my flippy flappy folios and stuff, you know how to do this. I'm going to turn this upside down. I just find this easier. And I'm going to place it on my mat at the inch, 6.5 inches, don't forget. So that's on the inch mark. That's on a 1/2 inch mark. And I'm just going to put some collal along there, along this flap that I've, it's a bit drippy because it's full. Let me just get my Timmy towel out. Just a little too much going on there. Now then, because I've got it lined up on here, I can see we made this 5.5, this is 6.5, so I need 1/2 inch each side. So I'm going to put that at 6 and that at the half there, and that should be 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch each side. My maths nearly let me down. So give that a good press down, and then when you open it up, that's what you've got. Hey presto! So then you just put them in any order that you fancy. fold it over like that, and your glue goes onto this edge. I know it does seem a bit counterintuitive that way your glue goes, but that's the edge it goes on. I'm going to do it not on top of it because my glue is in a race to get out the bottle. There we are. Now then, take this, still folded up like this. You can just hold it in your fingers if you want, and offer that right up to there. So the crease is right up to the end of that piece. Press that down, but don't go to town on pressing it down. Fold that over and just make sure that it's square. This isn't, it's just a tiny bit out. Just needs to go to my left a little. Fold that down. Yes, that's perfect. They are lying really flush like that. So now I can give that a dashed good press down. And I'm just going to do the same with the remaining 4 while I tell you about Catkin. Yeah, so we decided we'd mount a bit of a search party for him, and Mr. F got his torch and whatnot, and as you go out of our back door we've got a sort of utility room, I suppose it is really, where, you know, the tumble dryer and the freezer and stuff like that is. So we opened the door and there was Catkin, like plain statues. He was absolutely frozen in time, with his one paw up off the ground, his tail all puffed up, and when we looked what could possibly be the problem, there was a little girl pussycat just sitting there looking at him, but nearer to the back door than he was. So he couldn't come in because he had to watch her. And she was just the prettiest little girl, really gorgeous, gorgeous little girl. And so Mr. F picked Catkin up. He was still making that stupid, weird noise that they make like they're in some sort of pain. I mean, he wasn't in any pain. He was just afraid. So Mr. F picked him up, and I came in here with him. Mr. F didn't come in for a while, and then when he came in, I said, "Did you pick the little girl up?" He said, "Well, I gave her a treat." So yeah, he'd gone up to her. You know, she hadn't bothered at all. He'd offered her a treat, which she'd taken and eaten. And then he said, "What shall I do?" I said, "Well, you know, she looks like she belongs to somebody. You know, just close the door and she'll probably go home." So that was that. Closed the door, and she wasn't there the next time we went out, so we presumed that she'd gone off home. However, yesterday, same thing happened. Catkin had been missing a little while, so I opened the... it's glue. I opened the back door, and the little girl shot in, absolutely shot in, past Catkin, straight in the back door, and right into the middle of the kitchen, and just kind of sat there looking around. Catkin was... If cats can be incensed, he was incensed that this little girl had run in past him. He was too afraid to come in the house because she was there. What a wuss. And she promptly sat down at Catkin's bowl and started eating his dinner. Oh dear. He didn't like it, but he wasn't really saying anything. He just was kind of ignoring her, looking at her out the corner of his eye. So she ate what she wanted out of Catkin's bowl. He's got 2 bowls. He's got one with dried food and one with wet food. So she ate a bit out of both. And then she had a bit of a mooch around the kitchen. And then we gave her a treat, and we gave Catkin a treat. This is just going a little bit on the wonk. So I want it a bit more that way, and this a bit more that way. Is that better? I think so. It's just going slightly wonky. Just got to be careful with these waterfalls, you know, they can go wonky on you. But that's all right there, I think. Maybe that one just needs squaring up a bit. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we're all right now. We look all right now. That looks good to me. Right, okay. So, yeah, so she'd had food, she'd had a treat. They both had a treat for that matter. And Mr. F picked her up and he says, oh, smell her. And I smelled her and she absolutely reeked of perfume. Now, there's no way around here that there's anywhere you could get to smell of perfume unless somebody, you know, picked you up and cuddled you, sort of thing. So any hope that we had of taking her in, which I know we both had, we did not say it, but I know we both hoped that she was a stray and we could keep her. But no, she definitely does belong to somebody. I've lost my bone folder now and all that. So yes, we just put her outside and I presume she went home, and I don't know whether she'll reappear tonight or not. If she does, she's very welcome. I'm sure Catkin will get used to her. So all I've done is I've just folded the top in just for a bit of support for that, because this is just the Edith paper. It's not, hasn't got any real strength in it. So I'm going to stick that down just a fraction up from the bottom, and it's about a good 1/4 of an inch in at each side. I'll just stick the bottom on first. So yes, that's Catkin. So I call her his girlfriend, but in reality he's absolutely petrified of her. Although she didn't even hiss or spit or anything. I mean, she was gorgeous and so pretty. We would have had her in a heartbeat. I mean, we absolutely would have had her in a heartbeat, because he would have got used to her. I know he would. But not to be. She obviously belongs to somebody else, which is a shame. Right, now I'll stick my sides in. And I'm not going to put the journaling card in yet, because there's quite a bit of movement going on. So there we go. So that's our pocket and our waterfall. Yeah, so that's the back page made, constructed. And don't worry about your waterfall not lying flat if it's not, because you know you can go over each one with your bone folder. But honestly, when that's stuck in and it rests on top of it, it soon learns to lie flat. It really does. Right, so now we move on to the larger piece. And it is a bit larger. I've tried to take the boredom out of it for you by trying to cut everything that I can, and I don't even know where to begin. I think that might be the back, if there is such a thing. Right, let's start on this side. Now, this here is 6.5. Let me just check it. It's before I stick everything on. Imagine if I'd got the measurements wrong. It is 6.5, that panel, by 9. But I've scored in an additional, so it's 7 if you want to say from there to there. And I've scored 1/2 inch. And that's going to go round the back of the panel we've just made, so the whole page is together, if you know what I mean. So that's going to go round the back of there and get stuck on, and just like we've done in other places. Let's take that off for the time being. So this is a really straightforward page. I've inked around everything for 2 reasons. One, same old, if I cut it wrong, you just can fudge it a little bit if you've inked it. And the other thing is it's easier for you to see. So this is 6.5 by 9, and this is a 1/2 inch gusset. So from there to there measure 7 inches, and I've scored at 1/2 inch. Okay, so that looks like that fits. Let's get that glued in. See, this is where all my glue's run away to today. So I don't know if you've seen, I was watching Artie Mays yesterday. I always watch Artie Mays' videos. I think the woman is a genius. I love the things that she does. I love her style of work. She's just great. And her digitals are fabulous as well. So yes, it was nothing unusual that I'd be watching Artie Mays. But she is taking part in what's called the 100-day challenge, which is you do something for 100 days. Not surprisingly, it is as it sounds. So that's going on there like that. Don't worry if it's a little long. Actually, that's perfectly all right. Because you can just trim it off and re-ink it. It's not a big deal. And here's my little corner pocket. And it's common garlic. I love garlic. I could never, ever, ever have enough garlic. I absolutely adore it. So that's going on there, because mostly it's writing down here, so you can still see the cowslip and everything. So she was saying that it started, I think, on the 22nd of February, so she was starting late. But, you know, she runs businesses apart from her junk journaling, and she has a family at home, etc. So, you know, she's a busy woman. So I'm just coming up a little bit, but, you know, good 1/8 from the bottom, like that. I just find it easier to stick the bottom in first. You can just use your normal way. Oh, I've forgotten to stick my my top bit down here. Yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, 100-day challenge. So she was saying that for years because it's been going, 10 years? It's been going a long time. I don't know why you don't want to stick down, but please yourself. There we go. And she said, you know, every year she's seen it and thought, oh, I'd love to take part in that, but circumstances have prevented her. So she's decided this year that she's going to take part in it, but in her own way. She's not going to do it every day, and but she is going to do something for every day. So she's made a start, and she made something for day 1, and then the next time we saw her, oh my goodness me, I haven't stuck that down either. Next time we saw her, she'd done days 2 and 3, and she did day 4 with us. So, you know, she's doing it at her own pace. But I got to thinking, I'd quite like to do that. It looks like fun. Why can't I play? So, I don't know. I mean, it's a huge commitment if you do something every day for 100 days. But, you know, I craft every day anyway. So if I did it like Andrea, I'd be all right. I quite fancy doing it. Don't know. I see Linda Park in our group is doing it. I can't remember now what she's doing every day. I think it's just something artistic, which is fine. Andrea is using book pages every day. Right, let's just take this next page off. I thought we had a flap somewhere. Let me just check on my exit. Oh no, flap's on the other side. So this is it's a single pocket, don't tell lies. And it's just 1 page, and the page is slightly more than 9 inches, like 9 1/8 or something. So I've cut that there, and I haven't cut anything off the length, which gives me the merest 1/8 of an inch, just to tuck that in there, just so you can't see the edge really. You can't cut a thumb notch out of it because there's not enough paper down there. So I'm just going to do that, and it kind of, Yeah, I've inked it and everything, so your eye does tell you there's a pocket there, but it does all match quite nicely. So this top one wants to get glued in completely, and then the bottom one obviously is a pocket, so it doesn't. So this panel that I'm working on is 9 by 6.5 as well. So thank you to everyone who joined me yesterday for the live stream. It was a construction day. We were making boxes, and in the couple of hours preceding the live, I can't even say the morning because it wasn't, I constructed a live. Hello, it is me. I'm just talking rubbish. Yeah, in the couple of hours preceding the live, I had made a Tim Holtz style tag box. You need to go back and have a look at it if you haven't seen it, because it's a really natty thing. I like it, actually. I don't know if you're supposed to say that about work that you've done yourself, but I do. I really like it. So during the live, I did the same thing, but I used Edith. So if you're into Edith, you might want to go and have a look and see what I did. And I'm proposing that we fill it with tags. It's a kind of tag-shaped storage container. And as I say, I've got one in Tim Holtz style and one in Edith style. But what I forgot was, so there's our pocket. Looks very nice. I'll just clip this onto the back, otherwise when I get to the back I won't have a clue what I'm doing. So that's 2 pages done. This one here, I don't quite know what I've all got. Oh yeah, I know. Right, this here is actually a loose piece. Okay, so when you get your card, whatever it is that you're using, I use A3 as you know. So I've scored 1/2 inch there, then 6.5 from the score line, then 6.5 from the score line, and this is what I'm left with, this piece here. So what I have done is I've got myself a piece of card that's 6.5 by 9. Actually, it's just light of 6.5. Just a touch less than 6.5, and I'm going to put that on there, but I'm going to make this a pocket. So on this side, that's what it'll look like. This will be a pocket, and on this side it'll just be a plain piece of paper, plain piece of card I should say. So that will get glued on round there when we come onto that section. So I'm going to make this into a pocket, and I've cut myself a piece of card that measures 9 by 3 3/4. That's a fairly arbitrary measurement. It could be 9 by 3, 9 by whatever you fancy, and you could put it at that side also if you wanted to. Really is up to you. No, I'm going to put it there. That's where I had it. And I've used text for this because when it's finished and I'm going through decorating it, I want to put some of my painted flowers on there just to carry that theme over throughout the whole journal. So I'm going to have a day soon where I just paint some flowers and do the tags and everything necessary to go into the journals. So this is just straightforward. As I say, I've used text because I like the flowers. I like the look of the flowers on top of the text. So let's get this stuck onto here. Like that. does take quite a while to cut all your papers out and everything, so don't be in too much of a hurry when you're doing this. As I say, this piece is loose, so don't worry that it's, you know, flapping around. And this piece is going to be the piece that goes under my pocket. Doesn't have to reach all the way across because, you know, it's going under a pocket. And I have inked those 3 sides, so this bit gets stuck down. Look at all that lovely text. Still, you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. That's what they tell me. Very often I have an omelette for my tea, actually. One of my favourite things. I absolutely love eggs in pretty much any way, shape or form. But oddly enough, raw eggs just make me want to throw up. I just can't bear them. I can't bear the thought of it even. And if I'm cooking with eggs and I get white on my fingers from where I've cracked the shells, oh my goodness me. It's hot. I've just got to get it off instantly. Instantly. Right, so let's get this stuck on here. This collar's really nice because it allows you time to just edge it into place. So that's that there. Lovely. Lovely. So now we just need to glue this on. So just round 3 sides. This is the side I don't want to glue. And I'm going to use my EVA glue because I can get it finer than the collal. It's in a precision tip bottle, so I just get a little bit out because otherwise you get so much glue and then you squash it down and you've lost ½ an inch of your pocket. So this, I can just get a thin bead of glue. There we go. Let's pop that on there. Lovely. This EVA glue is not as forgiving as the collal, so you've kind of got to get it right first time. There we are. That's lovely. I love that. I love the tortoise shell and the nettles and everything. That's really lovely. Okay, so let's turn this beast over. Everything's still hanging on. Thank goodness for that, because I don't think I could sort it out. So I don't really know where that might come from there actually. Right, let's start at this side anyway and work our way along that way. So this pocket here is a sort of, it's got that down there, then I've got that there, and then I've got that. It is a way of using up your scraps, definitely, but doesn't it look pretty? I really like that actually. So this piece is going to get stuck down completely. And then the others just kind of top and bottom. Yeah, I had to cut into that lovely, the nest. But, you know, there's always some, it's the same when you buy a pad and it's got double-sided papers in it. You've got to make a sacrifice of one of them. So there we are. I feel like I've done rather a lot of Edith projects of late. I mean, we did the entire book. We turned the entire book into ephemera, if you remember, which was quite a task now I think about it. Right, so that's that. I'm going to just hold that in place there where that's going, and then I can see where I want to put this. See, there's not much pattern on this side, so I'll kind of bury that fact in there like that, and then you can't see that there's no pattern there. So I'm just going to make a little pencil mark where I want that to go. And then it's just a matter of gluing the top and the bottom. And then the pocket will be as deep all the way back to the score line. There we go. So line that up with the little pencil mark that I made. Make sure it's square on the bottom. And there we have it. Lovely. That's great. A little bit of glue seeping out there. There we are. Oh! Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't think you could do that. I thought once it was down, it was down. Obviously not. Right, let's get the bone folder out, shall we? I don't like that trick very much. And then I'm going to have to check back on that and make sure there's enough glue on it, but I think it'll be all right. And then this piece goes there. So I'm going to glue that side, and that side, not this side. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? But you can't have everything. I know. You can if you've got 2 books. That is also true. I'll tell you one thing I wouldn't use if I had 100 books. I wouldn't use them blinking snakes. No thanks. I don't even like putting them in the journal, even if I'm using the other side of them. In case they get out. Yeah, I know that's daft. There we go. That's that. So that's our nice pocket page there with the 2 pockets in. One there that goes all the way back to there, and then that one. So that's excellent. Pleased with that page. So moving along. I'm still on the wrong side here. Let's turn this one over and I can see what we're supposed to be doing then. So that's our triple page. Then here, yes. Here we've got an additional flip. Just in case we didn't have enough flips. So this is a piece that's 5 1/4 by 7. Yeah, 5 1/4 by 7, and I've scored a 1/2 inch. So in its entirety it's 5 1/4. Then I've scored at 1/2 inch, so that leaves me 4 3/4 by 7. And that's going to go in here, in there, like that. And I'm just going to cover it with text. And once again, I think what I'm going to do with that is paint some flowers and put them on. It's possible I could fussy cut some butterflies maybe. That's always a possibility, a nice choice. I could do that. We'll see. When it's all together, we'll see. You know, I don't want to overpopulate it with flowers, you know, so you come to them and go, oh, flowers again. But they are pretty. But having said that, the odd butterfly around, even if it's not an Edith butterfly, they do look nice. Because she paints a lot of butterflies in her book. Right, so let's pop this onto here. Hopefully it should fit nicely, and it does. There we go. And all I want to do with that is round the corners off. And I'm just going to use my 1/4 inch one. These grips of these handles always wants to come off. So just take the sharpness off the corners. Ooh, that's a bit faulty. And re-ink those where you've just cut. And there's journaling on the back of here, so, you know, by the time we get all the cards and everything in, there'll be plenty journaling. And that, same as with the waterfalls, I'm folding that over like that and sticking that down there. Now you can measure it and get it, make sure it's equal or whatever. I just eyeball it, frankly. If, you know, if it's nearer one end than the other, it doesn't matter to me. I'm all right with it. There's only one of them. I'm not matching it up with anything. So there we go. So folding that over like that. Let's see. I think that looks pretty good to me. I quite like that. Give it a good press down. And there we are. That's there for keeps, I think. And then it's just this piece of Edith that goes over the top. So we've enclosed the flap, the bit that we've scored in. We've attached it using that, and then we've, yeah, that's all right. You just have to check sometimes. I just think that might be just a little bit tight. That's right up to there where that folds. I'll fold that over and press that right in. And then when I do that, it's just a touch too wide. So just be aware of that. Which side shall I cut off? Don't think it really matters. It is just the merest touch. Let's try that. So let's close that and push it right up as far as it'll go. Oh yeah, I can see now, that's fine. And that will fold. Yeah, that's fine. So I just need to re-ink down this side where I've just trimmed. Gone a bit wonky at the top there, but that's just the way of the world. See, there's a peacock butterfly that she did. There's butterflies throughout the book, so I think that the odd butterfly, even, you know, as I say, not an Edith one, would fit in really well. So let's get this in place. There we go. That's lovely. That's lovely. That's really nice. Fabulous. Okay, so now we're up to that page that's a pocket, if you remember. So, do I remember? That's the question. Right, what goes on? Oh, I've got poppies. Poppies. Ooh, yes, poppies. So this is the part that was left from the sheet of card. This was a sheet of card here in its entirety. Scored at a half, scored at 6.5 inches beyond that, another 6.5 inches, and then that left me on the end with 3 inches all but. So, and this is the piece from the other side that we've already done. So that goes there like that, and this is going to stick down. It's going to be a pocket stuck down there, but this is what we're going to put on it. The poppies, because they're lovely. I didn't use them in the other one, but I love the poppy page. So that's going to go there like that. Then it's going to get stuck on, and this is going to go there. So you know, you can see that it's exactly. I mean, if to make it meet, it would have to go there, which it's not. It's there. But it still looks good to me. I like it. So let's stick this onto this page. You know, it's the loose one that's 6.5 by 9. This is how you get through so much glue. About a quarter of the entire weight of the book must be glue, because it's not light stuff, is it? You know, a bottle of glue weighs a fair bit. Right, let's get this in place. There we go. Lovely. That really is lovely. And this is going to go on here. I don't know. I don't quite know what I was thinking, because that goes there like that. And that goes there. So why is this so wide? I don't know. Let's just check this out. Goes like that. Goes like that. No, let's go the other way. Goes like that and goes like that, and that's the front. So that goes into there, and that goes there. Is that right? Oh, so many flips and flaps. I can't keep up. Yeah, I think that's right. I don't know why I've cut that so wide. Just a bit of a boo-boo, I think. So let's cut it to the correct width then, which will be the 3 inches that piece of card is. Does that really measure 3 inches? Yeah, it does. There you go. Didn't look like it. So let's trim that off. Let's put the lid on my glue before a catastrophe happens. And trim off that extra piece. Which is going to be just less than 3 inches, I'm guessing. There we go. So let's ink down the bit that we've just chopped. Edith takes ink so well, doesn't she? It just makes us sing, I think. So let's pop this onto there. Lovely. That's going to be lovely. We don't need, it gets glued flat because the pocket is the card, not the Edith paper. Yeah, I think I just must have made a boo-boo. Time will tell, we'll put it all together and it'll be like, what? That does not make sense. There we are, just got a couple of bits of glue. Excess, right. Let's drop that into place there. Lovely. And then I just need to, I'm just checking that everything looks right, and it does. So this pocket now needs to go onto there to join this page on. So I'm going to take my EVA and go around, not this edge, that's the opening edge, so the other 3 edges. And I might just come back again because it's kind of a structural thing, this. So it's holding that page in. So make sure it's got plenty glue. There we go. Right, so this page now needs to get stuck onto that. There we go. The concentration. Lovely. And I've just realised what I've done that I didn't do the last time. I've stuck this down as a pocket, whereas in the other one I made it a flippy flappy with a magnet. So with magnet down. Don't worry, I'll use a magnet on the last piece so you can see how I use them. So there we have it. Look at that. That's beautiful. Flippy flappy there. Lovely. That's really lovely. And that goes like that. Oh, look at that. It's so nice. And then this, which is our base page, if you remember, way back then when we started. This goes on top. And that flap goes over the base page. And then the whole thing gets stuck in your book. So let's just stick that on. And then we can say we have completed the entire section, which is no mean feat. I might, if I can recover in time, come back towards the end of the week and do the final section. Then we've got to do all the cards and everything. I might actually make a start on that myself, because you know how to do cards. You don't need me to show you that. So just offer that up like that. And then fold, turn it over and make sure you've got that nice and secure there. Like that. And this section gets glued into the lapbook. So give that a good burnish down. But it gets a second chance, if you like, when you come to glue it into the book, because the whole thing gets glued in. Right, so let's have a look then at what we have created. Let me just put this one away. There's not room on my desk for two of these. So that's what you'll see in the lapbook, which is, well, I just think it's excellent. I love it, but then again, I love the poppies. So we've got a nice big pocket there. We can put any old journal card that we like there, any whatever we want to. I might do something with a bit of a window in, so you can still see that poppy. We'll see what it comes out like. So then you turn over, and this was the bit that I had on a on a magnet on the other one. Forgot all about it. No idea about it. So we made a pocket out of that. Let me just get a bit of paper so I can show you what we've got. That's a pocket in there. Nice deep pocket. So you can have a journaling card there. This is a pocket down here. There we go. We split the page. Then here we've got it's a pocket with just the corner taken off, just to add a bit of interest to it, really. And we can get, I mean, I love this. I love all these flowers. But we can get a card in there. And then here we've got our beautiful waterfall. It's fabulous. I love it. 6-page waterfall. And a little pocket there that we can pop something into. I've got the corresponding bit to, oh, look at that. I've already been nibbling at it. That won't do. So we'll make a card for in there. And then when it goes like that, you can open it up the other way, like this. And you've got that page there with the flippy flappy, and then that page there. And that is that. Yes, that's definitely that. So that's how it goes. It goes like that, and it goes like that. Huh? It's quite nice, isn't it, really? I like that. Don't forget that this is there's a pocket there, and there's a pocket there. So we've got loads and loads and loads of journaling cards and flowers to decorate and all sorts of things. But that is my 2 sections. They're ready to go into Edith, and that will be section 3 complete, as I say, apart from the journaling cards, the flowers, butterflies, whatever else I decide to put in it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you could understand what on earth I was on about. And I hope that your lapbook is progressing, well, I'll say it, as well as mine is. And I'll see you very, very soon. I'm going to give some thought to that 100-day project. See what you think of it. Let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you again very soon. Take care all. Bye.